And here is the Vegan's Almanac for today, the 8th of April. April 8th is National Dogfighting Awareness Day. The origins of dogfighting can be traced back to the Roman invasion of Britain in 43 AD, as both sides brought dogs to the battlefield to help them fight. While the Romans won the war, British dogs proved to be better trained, and so the Romans, impressed, began to import British fighting dogs for war and entertainment. In their Colosseum, they would have dogs fight in groups against other animals, and later they would export them to other countries all over Europe. By the early 19th century, some Europeans started thinking about animal cruelty, and the British Parliament banned dogfighting in 1835. But unfortunately, dogfighting persisted. People started crossbreeding dogs to create stronger breeds, and fighting dogs were imported to the United States as well as the rest of the world during the mid-1800s. But the concerns about animal abuse kept growing as well, and by the 1860s, most states in the U.S. outlawed blood sport. In 1976, dogfighting was made illegal in every state, but the enforcement remained lax until a study showed a link between the activity and other crimes. The Animal Fighting Prohibition Act went into effect in May 2007, which provides a penalty of up to 3 years of imprisonment for each offense of interstate or foreign transport of animals for fighting purposes. In December 2010, the ASPCA established a blood sports unit dedicated solely to investigating animal fighting. In 2017 alone, they rescued more than 300 dogs from 13 dogfighting operations across 11 states. Handsome Dan's Rescue is an organization that helps the victims of dogfighting rehabilitate and find them a home. You can learn the stories of how these dogs learned to live again at handsomedansrescue.org. April 8th is National Zoo Lovers Day, but upon examination, zoos are hard to love. In the wild, animals may roam for hundreds of miles, hunt their prey, raise their children, explore, play, and enjoy complex social relationships. Yet in zoos, their lives are restricted to 4 walls. The confinement and lack of stimulation often result in abnormal and self-destructive behavior known as zoochosis. For example, pacing, walking in tight circles, rocking, swaying, or mutilating themselves. Zookeepers sometimes give the animals antidepressants, tranquilizers, or antipsychotic drugs to try to conceal their distress. Zoos would have you believe that they are all that stand between many of the species they house and extinction, but animals are almost never released from zoos, and those who are rarely fare well, since being reared in captivity leaves them ill-prepared to cope with life in the wild. Zoos dispose of surplus animals either by killing them or selling them to unethical exotic animal dealers. Zoos are hardly educational. The caged, lonely animals they house are so far removed from their natural context that they have little opportunity to follow their instincts. The only thing to be learned at these sad facilities is how animals who want to be free act when they are confined. At the end of the day, zoos are businesses geared towards entertainment, not educational establishments. All they teach people is that it is acceptable to interfere with animals and keep them locked up in captivity. The publication of Forget the Camel, the Madcap World of Animal Festivals and What They Say About Being Human by Elizabeth MeLampy was on this day in 2025. As the gates open at the racetrack in Virginia City, Nevada, 3 camels stumble out, ridden by amateur jockeys. A crowd of roaring spectators looks on gleefully, but as the camels approach the first turn, one loses her footing and crashes to the ground. While the camel's handlers rush to the animal, the race's MC calls out in defense of the jockey, "Check on Charlie, forget the camel." The International Camel and Ostrich Races is just one of hundreds of animal festivals that take place around the world every year, each putting animals on display for humans to gawk at, demonize, or adore. But why? What value do these festivals and their rituals hold? And why, when the animals are in distress, do we insist that the show still must go on? In Forget the Camel, Elizabeth MeLampy shows how killing rattlesnakes in Texas represents a triumph over the Wild West, how lobster boils on Maine's Atlantic coast show solidarity with the working class, and how the celebration each February of a single groundhog reminds us of our reliance on nature. In the process, she uncovers the symbolism we attach to animals and the stories we tell to rise above them. And here is the opening stanza to the poem Captivity by Levy. The lion remembers the forest, the lion in chains. To the bird that is captive, a vision of woodland remains. Captivity by Levy. This has been the Vegan's Almanac with the reminder to not forget the animals.